So I can't tell you the amount of times where late in the evening, just before I go to bed, I have that sinking feeling of just regret that pops up. And how it pops up and why it pops up, again, can be a bit mixed. But I think usually it's the fact that I just unsatisfied with the day. If I hadn't gone and done this bad habit and I just focused on doing these few things, I could have made so much more progress towards my goal. And I think sometimes it also makes me realize, right, well, if I'm, regretting the day, if I'm regretting what I did, then I know that I'm almost falling behind in terms of where I want to be. I think us as guys, we want to have something to aim towards. We want to, keep trying to pursue better things. And I also believe that it's in the pursuit of something higher than ourselves, in the pursuit of something challenging, which gives us fulfillment, that, makes us feel on track, and less so the actual reward of it, like less so the actual goal itself. I found this myself where when I was building my sort of video game and I'm trying to get the demo out, like it was thrilling. It was thrilling. Like the last 7 days before I had to get the demo out, because I was trying to get it out in time before there was like a Steam Fest and like effectively an event that would push out my demo further. And I must have spent like I think the last maybe 3 days. I think I spent like near 25 hours, or like if not a little bit more, where I spent like 9 hours the day before and then like 11 or 12 hours, and I was working until 2 in the morning to then hit the button that said release the demo. And that just, yeah, like again, working on that, and like it was stressful, but looking back on it, I think, wow, like that was really impressive. Or at least that's what I thought anyway. And but actually, once I'd got the demo out, sure, it felt good, right? For about maybe a day, and I was like, yeah, this is great. But then the next day, I thought, right, well, I need to get the full game out now, right? So it would like again, it's just it's those momentary bits where it's like, okay, right, I now need to move on to the next thing. And so this is why coming back to the whole regret cycle, which I would find myself in, I realized, look, if I'm not giving consistent energy towards something that's meaningful to me, then I know deep down I'm not getting closer to where I want to be. So, in my situation, to be quite frank, I'm trying to build up more consistent revenue at the moment, right? I'm trying to build up more consistent income, and effectively I want to be able to make consistent money from my video games, quite simply. And obviously I'm trying to make my first, or release my first video game at the moment. So when I waste a day or when I don't achieve as much, I do get that feeling of regret. And I don't think regret is necessarily bad. I think for me at least, it's been something of a reminder to go, look, this feeling is bad. And I know today I just didn't, dedicate as much energy or focus towards this said thing. And I think the thing that helps get rid of that regret and helps us feel fulfilled is it's not really a certain amount of time dedicated, right? I wouldn't really say that. I think a lot of it is we're trying to get a feeling for how the day went. I think a lot of us, a lot of the time can identify if we actually gave it a good swing, or if actually it was a bit half-hearted. I think that's really the main issue. And again, I think as well, it's like it's very easy to regret lots of time wasted when you didn't really have direction perhaps to begin with. And I found that time flew by when I didn't really have a clear thing I was working toward. And if I did, perhaps it wasn't even that interesting to me. Right. And so just time went by, and I look back on that time and I thought, wow, like I wasted so much. But I find, at least more recently, now, at least for me, that I'm working on things that are more meaningful, time is actually going a lot slower, which is good, right? And I find that I'm making the most more so of days. Like months went by like that, or at least they used to. And that wasn't great, right? It felt rubbish. And, the goals that I said to other people and even to myself just became a bit of a joke in my eyes. So that's so what I'd really say is, if you're someone which, does continue to have those regretting feelings in the evening. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have those. I think everyone will have those. And especially as guys, I think we want to always look to improve in some way, shape, or form. I think if you consistently get that, then I think it's a good sign. It's a good sign. It's effectively part of yourself saying that, look, there is more that you can do, or you can at least do something that is better, right? I think a lot of the time when we think of regret and, oh, I regret what I did or what I didn't do, we always think, right, I just need to do more. And although that sounds good initially and it's pretty straightforward for us, again, if you're going to try and force yourself to work ridiculous hours, how long is that really going to last? So I think it's just trying to build up some level of efficient amount of work. For me, that's looking at 2 deep work sessions in a day and maybe a lighter work session later on. But usually that's about it, right? Or at least what I can do consistently. So let me know your thoughts on that. That's pretty much what I'm thinking as well. Because again, I think the regret cycles, late in the evening, I think that's always going to be a thing. I still have that. I don't think that's bad. I think, again, it's more so bad when you choose to ignore it and when you choose to continue doing the same thing every single day and get frustrated at the same results you're getting, right? I mean, it's effectively the idea of, look, you know, you can't expect the different outcome by just doing the same thing that you've always been doing. But let me know your thoughts on this. Keep working hard, and I'll chat soon.